Hello everyone, it's Karen Ellis here from the Art House Studio. I was playing around with some Carriker stamps. I got into the studio, here they are. I love this one, this is Cordelia. And some Gelli plates, and I thought I'm going to make a video and show you how I'm doing this. If you haven't heard of Gelli plates, this is a gel printing plate that you can do monoprints with, and I'm just going to show you how I'm going to quickly use this to make some fun backgrounds for my stamping. And I think these are turning out beautifully. I'll show you at the end, but I think that I'm going to end up putting some resin on these and making some resin embellishments for cards and things with them. So I'm really excited about it, and here we go. I'll show you what I'm doing. So I have my Gelli plate. Now I have cut this from the 8x10. I use these for demos. I'll probably end up taking these to Scrap Fest in Oshawa this fall. If you are going to be there, I'll probably end up playing with them. So yay for that. And I also have some watercolor paper here. This is just some heavy card. I'm going to try to print on the flatter side of it. This is a cold pressed sheet, but for stamping purposes you want it to be as flat as possible. And I'm going to start off by putting down some paint just to get a nice first layer on there. And I think I'm going to do some blues and teals because that's, you know, so far out of my range. So I have this Lumiere. I'm just going to put some down. And I'm just brushing it on. If I was using the big plate, I'd probably use the roller and then I wouldn't see any brush lines. But for the purpose that I'm doing here today, this is what I am going to do. So here we are. So that's down, and I'm going to make a first impression on my card. And I'm just burnishing it down and lifting off so that I have the paint on the card. And I am going to take a second impression just because these make one-offs, so if we can do a positive and a negative view of it, or like a shadow view, it's very cool. So hardly anything on there, but that is okay. I'm going to take a baby wipe and just wash this off. Okay, so I have a clean Gelli plate again, and I'm going to go ahead and put another blue on here. This is a cobalt turquoise hue from, this is Perfect Pigment from US Art Quest. I am loving this pigment. It is gorgeous. It is a liquid acrylic. And look at the pigment, how it spreads. It's gorgeous. Anyway, loving, perfect for this. Again, if I cared a lot, I'd probably use a brayer, but I am just going to go ahead and use my fingers, my favorite tool. Okay, and I'm going to take a Crafter's Workshop stencil. I have here beside me, oh my goodness, I just lost the name of it, like a Harlequin one. And I'm going to put it right down on top of the printing plate. And the reason I'm doing that is that the stencil is now going to act like a mask. And I'm going to put my card back on top. This is my original one, the first impression. And so I'll burnish this down on it. And so I'm only going to see the blue, that turquoise hue, where the stencil allows me to see it. So I'm just burnishing it through here. And I'll take it off. So see? I'm only going to see it right through that stencil. I'm going to remove the stencil now, and I'm going to make my second impression, my ghost impression, on the other card. There we go. And burnish that on. And then I'm going to dry it and clean off the Gelli plate with baby wipe again. See, so I have my ghost impression, and you can see that Harlequin line that was picked up through the first impression that we made with the first card. Now we're some baby wipes. Come on, baby wipes. So this is just how quick and easy it takes me to clean it. So I realized I didn't show you in the last step. All right, so I'm going to dry this and go on to the next step. Okay, so I'm just finishing up the dry process here, and I'm going to start with the next layer. Move those aside and get my Gelli plate. I have a blue pearl. Here it is. Oh, for heaven's sake, it's not focusing for me. But it's also from US Art Quest Perfect pigment line, and it's pearlescent, and I absolutely love their pearls. Oh my gosh, it's like stunning. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see the pearl? Love it. Anyway, I'm going to use this, spread it around my, oh, I might need a little bit more. I didn't really put a whole lot on there, did I? Look at me using my favorite tool. There we go. All right, and now I have one of Julie Balzer's new stencils from Crafter's Workshop. This is the Chunky Chevron, and I'm going to put that right on top. And then get out my card. This is the first impression one, remember? And I'm going to put that down and just smoosh that on. Look at me not caring about my messy fingers. Go figure, right? All right, so here's the first one. Ooh, that's kind of fun. Almost looks like a floral pattern on that one. It's kind of cool. And then I'm going to do the second impression here, but I'm going to remove that and put this down for that ghost effect. There we are, which is cool as well. Interesting pattern. Now I could go in here and do something else and scratch away some more paint and do some funky designs. You don't have to use stencils. That's just another way that I like to use my stencils that I thought I'd show you. So here we are. I'm just going to dry this off, and I'm going to get out my stamp of Cordelia. And I'll show you how I do that as well. Because she has a face, and I don't necessarily know about you, but I'm not blue in the face very often. So I like to mask off an area where the face is going to be so that I can stamp over it so that you can actually see her face, and it's not going to be a blue, icky, tingy thing. So here we go. I'm just going to keep drying this. Come on. I really like that. That's pretty cool. I don't know which side I like better. Nothing like watching Karen dry paint, right? If you join us on Ustream on Friday evenings, I broadcast live from that, and I don't edit it at all. So you see a lot of me drying paint. But hopefully we have fun while we do it as well. If you're interested, I'm on the Ustream.tv, and my channel is the Art House Studio. Come check us out. Okay, so I have some white paint. This is just something I happen to have here, Claudine Helma's studio paint. Blank Canvas is the name of her white. And I'm just going to kind of go in here and kind of, this is the image. This is what I tore off the back of the stamp so it would stick to the block that I'm going to use, this block. I don't often, those of you who watch me realize that I don't necessarily put things on blocks, my stamps on blocks. But in this case I am, because I'm wanting a true impression, like a really crisp impression. So I did take this off so it would stick. I'm going to use this as my guide. And this is about where her face is, right? So I'm just going to throw some white paint, or you can use a gesso or whatever. Kind of approximately where her face and body is going to go, right? See? All right, I'm going to do that. And I'm going to let that dry, and I'm going to do the same on this one. Just get my finger in there. Again, my favorite tool. Something like this. Awesome. All right, but I did get some on my, there we go, on my plastic sheeting there. Gets that off. And I'll let this dry, and then we'll come back and we'll stamp. so now I have my cards here that have been printed. I'm just going to trim this off a little bit so I can kind of see the top of my print, just so I can kind of get a better idea when I gauge to put the stamp on. And I already have my stamp mounted on an acrylic block. Again, this is Pam Carriker's. This is Cordelia. Love her. Look at the little birdie she's holding. She's so sweet. Anyway, I also have some archival. This is my go-to stamping ink, and it comes in some wonderful colors. I use it for pretty much anything because it's not water-based, so it'll stay on the paints beautifully too. Or you can spray on it and it won't smudge. Just kind of make sure it's juicy though. I think this is juicy enough, so I'm going to put this down on. Use a foam. This is a 1/4 inch foam. I like to stamp on a foam all the time. So anyway, I'm just going to kind of line up the face kind of where I have it masked off and firmly press down on my stamp, making sure it's right in that foam. And as I lift it off, yay! Look at that. Her face is masked off, so she's no longer got a blue face. And I'm going to go over here and do this one now. This one was the shadow effect, and this is the first original printing that I took. I'm going to take my stamp, re-ink it. There we go. Bring my page back, and I'm going to quasi-line it up. Press down firmly. Fabulous. Take a look. How awesome is that? So you can still see all the pattern. Beautiful blue and greeny tinge to it. Awesome. I'm just going to cut this now so you get a better idea of how it's going to look. And I'm just cutting it about 1/8 of an inch around the stamp. I really recommend that you ghost out an area or mask an area for faces, because again, you don't want to have something with a beautiful face with, I don't know, green polka dots all over it. I've done it before. Trust me, it looks ugly. Alright, so here we are. Just trimming this one off. This is again the shadow image one, so it's a little bit more of a solid background. You can just see all of the layers from the monoprint underneath the stamp. It's awesome. There we go. Now, I do really love that very, very much, but it is pretty stark. You can leave it like this. I'm not going to, because I like to add stuff all the time. I'm going to take some, this is the Silks acrylic glaze from Luminart. There it is. This one is Solar Gold. I'm just going to mix that. I've already kind of mixed it, but I'm going to mix it one more time so you can see. Here's my little mixing brush. I'm going to mix all of it together because it is a glaze with micas and everything in it. So you want to mix that up. Just kind of stir it up. Now this glaze, I'm looking for my other brush. Here it is. This glaze will go on lovely and translucent, so you will see all of the dimensions underneath, yet it'll kind of tie in everything that we've already done. So I'm just going to dip this in and kind of paint over it and over her face and just kind of tie it in, and it'll give me a beautiful luminescent shine. I'll show you in just a minute. I'm going to see actually if I can zoom this in so you can see that. Can you see the difference, how it's kind of tying it in there? Hopefully the camera is going to help me out a little bit. I'm just going to, there we are, pull it down, because I don't want her to be totally gold either, right? I can smudge it with my finger a little bit. But can you see what I mean about being in a translucent layer? And see the shine? Gorgeous. I'm going to do that on this one as well. Now I could have done this in a blue, but I just really wanted to have a nice gold tone. Kind of goes with the blue gold that I had originally started with and that you can see in the first impression really well. So kind of pulling that out. I'm just going to get my hands a little bit wet because I think I don't want to have it as much in there. There we go. Removed a little bit of it. Here we are. I'll set that aside a little bit to dry because I did get it wet. And I'm going to add one more color. And I have a pomegranate here. This is the pomegranate silk, so I'm going to close up the solar. Pomegranate. There it is, beautiful color. And I'm going to take a little bit onto this brush. Now I already did mix this. So I'm taking a little bit onto a paintbrush and I'm just going to touch it. There's the birds. Maybe her lips. Should probably have used a more finer brush, but you know, whatever. Just want a touch of it. There we go. And I'm going to use it along the edges too, just to kind of pull in some of that color. Again, it's translucent and you'll see the layers underneath. See what I mean? It's pretty cool. I think I'll do a little bit more on this side. See, I've just grabbed a little bit more on the brush. I just wanted it to be a little darker. And I'll do my diagonals for those of you who know me. There's my diagonal. Beautiful how it tied in. Okay, and I'm going to do the same over here. I might not use as much over here though. See that? Beautiful. And see that luminescence? Very cool. All right, so there you have it. We have, this is the first run, the first print, and this is the shadow print. Oh, other way around. First print, shadow print. One's a little softer than the other. All glazed up, ready to go. I am going to probably put some resin on here, as I mentioned, and make it really beautiful resin embellishment for use on cards. I'm really excited about that. Or maybe even a magnet for my fridge. That would be cool. And that luminescence will just pop through. All right, well, thanks for joining me. My name again is Karen Ellis. If you have any questions about what you've seen here or any of the products that are used, please feel free to email me at thearthousestudio@rogers.com. Thanks again, and have a creative day.